All right. And with that, she's joining us now live from our nation's capital. Thanks for giving us some time and being back here on Morning Rush. Quite a day yesterday. Before we get into your comments that have made some news about white privilege, specifically responding to your Republican colleague of South Carolina, what do you overall make of this contempt of Congress charge and this whole debate between Hunter Biden and the committee about whether he testifies behind closed doors or publicly?
Yeah, so it's hypocritical, number one. We know that some of those Republicans that you said voted to hold him in contempt of Congress still have outstanding subpoenas on them, where they were subpoenaed to testify before the January 6th committee. And while they have their reasons that they want to give as it relates to why they decided to ignore those subpoenas, the fact is they ignored them. We also know that there were other people that ignored subpoenas, and the Republicans didn't care. They thought it was okay. So the idea that the president's son, who has never served in any appointed or elected capacity as it relates to this administration, has, number one, made himself available. He showed up yesterday and basically said, I'm here. They didn't care about that. They didn't want to hear from him. Again, it's exactly what I said in that clip when I said the reason no one wants to talk to you behind closed doors is because you lie. One of Hunter's business partners absolutely sat down, did a closed door deposition, and what happened is they started leaking out or just basically lying about what took place behind closed doors.
Congresswoman, I want to get to the comments Rob was alluding to from Representative Nancy Mace from South Carolina. She's some choice words for Hunter Biden when it came to the hearing. Let's take a listen to what she said, and I want to get your response on the other side.
You are the epitome of white privilege, coming into the Oversight Committee, spitting in our face, ignoring a congressional subpoena to be deposed. What are you afraid of?
And those comments about white privilege did not sit very well with you. Your response to your colleague?
Yeah, they did not, especially coming from a white woman Republican. They did not sit well. And honestly, it just displayed how ignorant that side of the aisle is when it comes to what white privilege is. White privilege is absolutely something that white folk take advantage of, something that Black people cannot do. That's exactly what it is. So the idea that she wants to say this is about white privilege and school him when she's sitting on the side of a party where their former leader even made it clear that they don't look like America. They don't look like who we are in this country. So I thought that it was out of touch. I thought that it was offensive as a Black woman on that committee. Mind you, there's no Black women on the other side. And it's my understanding that the one Black person that is on the other side that sits on that committee, they tried to urge him to say something and he refused to. And for that, I am going to tip my hat off to Byron Donalds for not allowing them to use him as a token in this particular scenario.
And listen, let's end with the big picture here. Hunter Biden is critical to the impeachment effort against President Biden. Basically, the accusation being that Joe Biden benefited from his son's overseas business dealings or was somehow involved in them, and that apparently Republicans say is an impeachable offense. The key question has always been and remains, is there evidence to back that up, at number one? And number two, do you think we are headed for a Joe Biden impeachment, a vote of the House that will impeach this president?
I do think that they may bring it up for a vote. It's an election year, and they are doing everything that they can to make it seem as if what happened to Trump was not warranted, and instead trying to turn things on their head and make it seem as if President Joe Biden is the real bad guy. He is the real thug and criminal. They just don't quite have any evidence to support that at this time. I do want to point out that you have summarized what it is that they believe better than they have said that. They have not said that. Yesterday, we know that Marjorie Taylor Greene thought that it mattered to bring out these pornographic images again, and she's arguing that Hunter was involved in some sort of sex trafficking, and the president must have been aware of that. So they are all over the place. They probably need you on their team to help them consolidate and come up with whatever it is that they are attempting to allege against the president.
Can you confidently say that the president did not benefit from his son's business dealings overseas?
I can confidently say that I have not seen any evidence to support any accusation that he benefited from his son's work overseas. I can absolutely say that. And we have seen thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of bank records, as well as deposition testimony. And honestly, if they had it, you wouldn't have to ask me that question. He would have already been impeached.